A very good morning to all the YouTube live viewers who are with us. So today, from this year, we are starting we are not starting, we are continuing our health awareness talk series. So this year, we are starting with World Leprosy Day. So that is falling on today, that is 30th of January 2026. And the main theme of World Leprosy Day is leprosy is curable, but stigma remains the real challenge. To give a wholesome view on this topic, we have with us our speaker of the day, Dr. Rahul Prince, who has completed BNYS, PGDCP, and TCIM at NIMHANS, who is currently working as lecturer and medical officer in the Department of Yoga at our college, JSS Institute of Naturopathy and Yogic Sciences. So he will be providing you insights on World Leprosy Day. Over to you, sir.
A warm greetings to one and all. Myself, Dr. Rahul Pitts, lecturer cum medical officer working in JSS INOS. On behalf of JSS INOS, I'd like to welcome for this webinar on World Leprosy Day. So today we'll be discussing on what is leprosy, what is the main cause for leprosy and its mode of transmissions and its clinical features and its diagnosis, and how naturopathy in yoga helps in handling patients with leprosy. So, uh, what is leprosy? So, leprosy is a chronic inflammatory disease which is caused by a bacteria, Mycobacterium leprae. So, what is the history of leprosy? Why people used to talk more on leprosy? Why people affected leprosy are not treated as a normal human beings? So, what happened is when a patient is having leprosy, so many people think that so it will be transmitted to all the families. It is like very deadlier disease. There is no treatment for leprosy, but it is not. So leprosy can be treated the uh, proper allopathic and naturopathy ways of modalities. So main treatment is allopathic way of treatment, and conservative treatment is naturopathy and yoga. Okay, so when we look deep into the leprosy, the traditional text like Sushruta says leprosy as Kushtaroga. So how this leprosy day arises is, see, the World Leprosy Day has a historical significance dating back to the world of Paul Floro, a French writer and a journalist who dedicated his life advocating for those affected by leprosy. He only initiated the first World Leprosy Day on last Sundays of January in 1954. So, coinciding with the anniversary of Mahatma Gandhi's death, who has himself shown great compassion for leprosy patients. The World Leprosy Day is observed on last Sunday in every January on every year. So, in India, it is observed on 30th January every year, coinciding with the death anniversary of Mahatma Gandhi. So, what is the aim of World Leprosy Day? The aim of observing World Leprosy Day is to create awareness against the stigma attached to the disease. So, making the general community aware that it is a disease spread by type of bacteria and it can be easily curable. So, that stigma against the disease has to be the awareness has to be created among the people. So the main aim of the World Leprosy Day is to create a big awareness against the stigma which is caused by the disease. Okay, so focusing on curability, it emphasizes the eliminating discrimination and isolation. Through global participation, it spreads awareness about this treatable disease. The World Leprosy Day unites nations to work towards a future free from prejudice. So, what is the theme of this year is Unite, Act, Eliminate Leprosy. So, what is the history of leprosy? See, even in olden days, from the in Bible, they have mentioned the people who are diagnosed with leprosy, they were eliminated from their houses. They were discriminated. But in the Bible, they have said the people who was diagnosed with leprosy, they were and treated with the divine presence of the God. So even in the later century itself, leprosy was present. So what the scripture says is when a people is having leprosy, they'll be given a dress called Lazarus dress, and they'll be having a bill. So it represents that they are having leprosy. Who is wearing this Lazarus dress and the bill? The people whoever sees them, they should not talk with them. They should not get whatever the food they have. They should not eat. They should be separated from the peoples. So second picture says the skin lesions. How dramatic it is. So these are the some examples. These images and these pictures, these bells are preserved in the museums. Okay, so these typically says how critical they were, how psychological disturbance they had. Okay. So what is leprosy? Leprosy is also called as Hansen disease. It's a chronic bacterial infection primarily affecting the skin and peripheral nerves, usually caused by Mycobacterium leprae. So தமிழ்ல சொன்னோம்னா தொழு நோய் அப்படின்னு சொல்லுவாங்க. The form the disease that takes depends upon the person's immune response to the infection. So if immune response is very poor, the people is not having taking healthy foods, they are not practicing good lifestyle practices, the easily the bacterial infection comes and patients is prone to this infection. So leprosy is also called as Hansen's disease. Okay. This bacteria was discovered by Gerhard Armer Hansen of Norway in 1873, and hence it has its. So when you look into the epidemiology, so it is not concise to a single age group. It is concise to all from infancy to the old age. It affects all. Both male also gets affected. Both females also get affected. So leprosy incidence in children under 15 years of age is one of the primary monitoring incidents of endemicity, because leprosy in this age group is a result of recent recurrent transmission from an active case with high endemicity in that area. Okay, prevalence is so 1 in 10,000 people has leprosy. The current prevalence of leprosy is approximately 0.34 per 10,000 people. When you look into the global incidence in 2023, according to the strategies, more than 2 lakh new cases of leprosy were reported. So Brazil, India, Indonesia reported the most new cases in 2023, more prevalence in China, Nepal, and Myanmar. 12 other countries reported 1,000 to 10,000 new cases in 2020, according to the recent updates. So 56 countries reported no new cases in 2023 in updates. So 112 countries reported fewer than 1,000 new cases in 2023. So areas having high endemicity are found within the countries at a sub-district levels and also in hot and moist climates, because the microbiome leprae proliferates more in that areas. So poor tropical countries and poor developing countries has more leprosy patients. But interestingly, 56 countries have no reports of no new cases. So it is showing that leprosy is not spreading. They have prevented the spreading. So the first we have discussed, the leprosy is caused by Mycobacterium leprae, which was discovered by Gerhard Armer Hansen of Norway in 1873. So when we classify this, it is classified into tuberculoid, borderline tuberculoid, mid-tuberculoid, borderline lepromatous, and lepromatous. So how it is getting transmitted? So the when we look deep into the mode of transmission, it is slow communicable disease. It is not a non-communicable disease. It is communicable disease. The incubation period varies from 2 to 20 years. Averagely, it takes 3 years for incubation. So how it spreads? So it spreads is through nasal discharge. When someone is having a leprosy, when they sneeze or when they snore, like when they sneeze, the droplets spreads the infections. So direct contact with untreated leprosy patients via like damaged skin, through nasal secretions, through saliva, mucous membranes of the mouth, hair follicles. So through these ways, the leprosy gets transmitted. So what are the risk factors? So the risk factors is contact with leprosy patients. So, on conditions with reduced immune functions such as malnutrition, gene mutation, and other illness may increase the risk of developing the conditions. As we are discussing, it is a bacterial infection. So, when the immune system is poor, when we are not having a good nutrition, so immune system fails and immune function fails. So, bacterial proliferation increases because of bacterial proliferations. Patients are prone to have the leprosies. What are the clinical features of leprosy? When you look into the skin of leprosy patients, they have macules, papules, and nodules. So it will be single or it will be multiple. When you look this images, you can see multiple skin lesions present. So it will be hypopigmented. Sometimes it will be reddish. So there will be like sensory loss. The patient doesn't have a sense of touch or anything. Okay. So when you see the nerves will be thickened. There will be no sensations. Muscle weakness will be present in the leprosy patients. Okay. So what are the complications when the patient is having diagnosed with the leprosy? What will the complications? The complications will be they will have muscle paralysis. They will have trophic ulcers. They have testicular atrophy. They have amyloidosis. They will be having blindness and short-term joints. Okay. How to diagnose the patients with leprosy? So the diagnostic criteria they have is first is clinical diagnosis, second is split skin smear, and third is we have a skin biopsy we have, fourth is nerve conduction test we have, and is lepromin test. So what is a gold standard test is a split skin smear test and skin biopsy test. Okay, so that is a gold standard test to diagnose the leprosy. So first with the clinical diagnosis, we will be seeing the nerve conduction, how the nerve conduction is, and what are the skin lesions they have. With the help of these clinical diagnosis, we'll have some conclusion that patient will be having the leprosy. But the gold standardly will go with split smear test, and we'll go with skin biopsy. So with this techniques, they used to diagnose the patient with leprosy. So what is the mode of treatment for leprosy is it is like multi-drug therapy. Okay, so when we are not treating with this antibiotics, leprosy cannot be eradicated, or the prevalence of the leprosy can be treated. So with the help of this multi-drug therapy like rifampicin, dapsone, so with these drugs we can able to treat the leprosy patients. So when we are not treating, the complications get increases, and end of the day the condition of the patient get worse. Okay. What is the current status of leprosy? So India is currently running one of the largest leprosy eradication program in the world. So the National Leprosy Eradication Program, despite this 1,20,000 to 1,30,000 new cases of leprosy are reported every year in India. This is 58.8% of global total of new cases. Okay. So now until now, we have discussed what is leprosy, what is the diagnostic criteria, what is the clinical features, what is the history of celebrating this World Leprosy Day. Even from traditional, from the later stages, periods, there were leprosies diagnosed and even they were treated. But many people think leprosy is because of curse of divine, but it's not. It is all about a bacteria, but people think it is a divine problems. They are not God has punished the persons. No, it is not. When we treat or when we eradicate this bacteria properly, what happens is we can able to prolong the quality of life, improve the quality of life. So we can able to eliminate the leprosy. So how naturopathy and yoga helps? So your main focus here is to improve the immune functions. When we improve the immune functions of the system, uh, when the immune system is getting improved, all the complications get decreased. So our main focus here is to improve the immune function. Second is to reduce the inflammation. Third, we have discussed in case of leprosy, the nerve function get decreased, so there will be no sense of sensations. So to improve the sensations, nerve repair and regeneration has to be focused on wound healing capacities, because leprosy patients will be having more of skin lesions. To improve that wound healing properties has to be focused, and detoxification has to be focused in the patients. So liver detoxification, gut health has to be improved. So what is the main focus here is immune support first. Second is inflammation. Third is repairing the nerves and regeneration, wound healing, and to focus on detoxifications like liver detox and improving the gut health. First is enema. So enema is very much helpful in detoxification. So when we detox the full body system, so the blood toxins get uh, purified. So mostly alternate system focus, like naturopathy focus on improving the immunity, purification of blood, reducing the inflammations and nerve nourishments. Okay, so this enema helps in improving. So what kind of enema can be given is buttermilk enema can be given, coffee enema can be given, or neutral enema can be given. So these are all helps in eliminating the toxins which is present in the body. And next we can focus on mud bath. So what mud bath does? In case of leprosy, patient will be having more skin lesions. It can be single or it can be multiple. So that lesions uh, has to be treated. Second is wound healing capacities. So patient will be having wounds. That wound healing capacity can be improved with the help of mud bath. So mud has many minerals. When we apply mud locally or to the full body, that minerals get absorbed by skin, and immune system will be getting altered. Immune system get improved, and the wound healing will be proper. Next is steam bath. So what is the importance of steam bath? So when we give a steam bath to the patients, the skin follicles get open, so toxin which is present in the body gets washed. Next is sun bath. So, what is the importance of sun bath? Is vitamin D. So, this vitamin D helps to improve the immunity and reduces inflammation. Our main target is to improve the immunity and purification of blood and reducing inflammation. So, with the help of enema, uh, detoxification happens. With the help of heliotherapy, inflammation gets reduced and immunity gets improved. And next is yoga therapy. What yoga does? What is the main focus motive of yoga therapy and pranayama? See, in case of leprosy, people are separated by the family members, by the society. Society is not accepting the people who is having leprosy. People says that you are having leprosy, please don't come into our house. Please don't come to the functions. Please don't come to the community. So people are having depressed, people will be affected with stress, anxiety, and etc. etc. So to help with anxiety, depression, etc., this Anulom Vilam Pranayama, Brahmari Pranayama is very much helpful in improving the immunity also, to reduces the stress, reduces the anxiety, the depression, and fear principles. So Anulam Vilam Pranayama is very much helpful, and Brahmari Pranayama is also very much helpful. And Brahmari Pranayama, if we practice Brahmari Pranayama, this Brahmari Pranayama increases the nitric oxide. So this nitric oxide is very much helpful in improving the circulation. So in patients with leprosy, they will be having nerve problems. Oh, so sensation of the sensation will be decreased. So this Brahmari Pranayama improves the sensations. By the way, this Anlomilam Pranayama decreases sympathetic nervous system. Sympathetic nervous system is the main response for stress, so it decreases the stress. Next is Pachimutta, next is Pavan Muktasana. So when we practice this Pavan Muktasana, nerves are getting nourished. So the patient will be having the sense of numbness. So while practicing these asanas regularly, the numbness get reduced and nourishment of nerves will be happen. So when we look at in the this yoga therapy, so simple hand stretch exercises, simple breathing exercises like pranayama, like Anulom Vilam Pranayama, Brahmari Pranayama, and simple asanas like Pavan Mukta asanas. These helpful for nerve nourishment, relaxes the whole system, relaxes the muscles, relaxes the nerves and our nervous system also, and it shifts the sympathetic to parasympathetic. That is called reduces the stress responses. Next is diet. So, what diet helps in case of leprosy? So, what food we should focus more on leprosy is proteins. What is the main source of proteins? Is nuts and sprouts. So, that is the main source of proteins. Always prefer with vegetable, like vegetarian source. So, what this protein does in case of psoriasis? This protein is very much helpful for the cell nourishment and for the immunity functions. So when we take more of carbs, the immune function will not be improved. But in case of leprosy, when you take more proteins, when you add more proteins in the diet, the cell responds to the immunity cell, immune functions get altered, immune functions get improved. So easily the recovery from the leprosy takes place when you take proteins. Next is vitamin C and vitamin E. So when a bacteria enters, it destroys all the functions of the it disturbs the physiological functions. By the way, it repairs all the cells cellular function. So to increase the cellular functions, so we should go with antioxidants. So we prefer vitamin C and vitamin E rich foods. So vitamin C and vitamin E rich foods act as antioxidants. So when a bacteria enters, there will be production of more free radicals. These vitamin C and vitamin E helps in improving, reducing the free radicals and increasing the antioxidant status in the body. So, what kind of food has vitamin C? Is amla has vitamin C, oranges vitamin C, papaya has vitamin C, tomato, strawberry, spinach, broccoli. So, people who is diagnosed with leprosy can add vitamin C rich foods in their day-to-day life. And vitamin E also act as antioxidants like pumpkin, avocado, dried apricots, papaya, sunflower seeds, almonds, spinach, broccoli, asparagus. These are all contains vitamin E. So these vitamin E rich foods has to be taken regularly in the diet to improve the antioxidant status in the body. So these antioxidants help to repair their system and reduces the free radicals also. So in diet therapy, we focus on immune boosting diets. So first we saw an immune boosting diet is like vitamin C and vitamin E plus proteins, and we should focus more on cleansing diets, constructive diet, and a short-term fasting. It's for detoxification and vitamin C rich foods. Okay. So another main focus in diet therapy is we should focus on B vitamins. So what is the importance of B vitamins? B1, B6, and B12 has to be taken regularly uh, with the food. So what is the function of B vitamins? See, when we take more of B vitamins, these B vitamins, what it does is it improves the nerve functions. So the sensory nerve functions get reduced in case of leprosy. So to improve the nerve functions, we can go with vitamin B1, vitamin B6, and vitamin B12. These are the simple things has to be our focus. So what is the diet we focus on leprosy is protein rich foods. Protein rich foods is for the cells. So vitamin B1, B6, and B12, which is very very essential for the nerves and for the strengthening of the nerves to improve the functions of the nerves. And vitamin C and vitamin E is for antioxidants. So vitamin C rich foods are amla. Daily they can take amla. They can take lemon juice, orange juice. So citric foods contains more of vitamin C. So whenever this bacterial infection takes place in the body, there will be more amount of free radicals. To reduce this free radical scavenging, antioxidants has to be taken regularly. So these vitamin C and vitamin E acts as antioxidants. And last is zinc. So zinc increases the immune functions of the system. So regular intake of zinc helps in improving the immune functions. So we have seen now is yoga therapy and diet therapy. So yoga therapy improves the cortisol level, that is stress levels, and second is regulatory T cells. That is T cells is the immune regulation. So T cell plays a major role in leprosy. When it reduces, there will be more amount of progressions of leprosy conditions. Okay, so to reduce the complications of leprosy, we should focus more on diet and yoga therapy. And next, we have herbal therapies. So we can focus more on topical applications of neem applications, turmeric applications, ganji turmeric, like rice water applications. These are all helpful in treating leprosy. So, how to prevent the leprosy? So, wider coverage of infants and endemic agent with the BCG vaccines. Secondary prevention by tracing contacts, making an early diagnosis. So, when we diagnose it very early, the complications can be prevented. So, early diagnosis, early treatment, complications can be prevented. If we are not diagnosing early, complication is getting worsened. So, the quality of life get reduce. So to improve the quality of life, early diagnosis is very important and vaccination is must. So when we are not vaccinating, the Mycobacterium leprae get transmitted in the body. Okay. So offering chemoprophylaxis to the healthy household contacts, additional vaccination of leprosy patients with BCG through this may speed up the onset of leprosy. So let us promise to completely eradicate the disease from the face of the planet as we celebrate World Leprosy Day. So as an naturopathy doctor, I focus mainly on diet and yoga to treat leprosy. So here our main focus is to eradicate leprosy. So vaccination is must in case of leprosy. If patient is treated with leprosy, don't separate them, don't don't see partialities. It is a simple bacterial infection. It is not a curse of the god. So don't ever treat patients diagnosed with leprosy as something like aliens. So they are also a normal human beings. So treat them as a humans. So alternate system of medicines always focus on improving the immunity, purifying the blood with the help of detoxifications, and third is reducing inflammations, and fourth is nerve nourishment. So whatever we discussed now, like yoga therapy, diet therapy, heliotherapy, mud therapy, all these treatments is a supportive treatment. Whoever has leprosy can consult an naturopathy doctor to have a stressful and to improve the quality of life. They can lead the naturopathy doctors for a happy life. Thank you for warm listening. Thank you.